But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to lay out my gloves like this. Okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for some pieces that are going to fit nicely. You know, across the back of the hand, like that. That'll look good. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll try to pick things that might have a little bit of the writing and stuff and put that across the hand. And then I'm going to take strips like this. I'm going to cut, wow, I got the world's worst scissors. So I'm going to cut strips here like this. And each one of these strips is going to wrap around a section of my finger. So this would be a section right here. Okay. You're going to get another one for here. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Times 2 is 20. And I would grab a couple little pieces that you could maybe put on your fingertips. So you're going to have about another 10 smaller pieces. Okay. And then you're going to have a piece that goes around your hand here. I would make this a separate piece that would go here. And then maybe 2 or 3 pieces to make up the inside. You know what, maybe go with 2 pieces here. Because the more you mix those pieces up and cut them, it'll be easier to move your hands. So I'm going to go ahead and set my pieces up, and I'm going to hit fast forward, and here we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take these gloves that we had, and we're going to go ahead and lay them down, and we're going to figure out how the burlap is going to lay before we go ahead and put this together. So that way when you do it, you're not trying to cut pieces while you've got, you know, adhesive all over your hands. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and find some pieces that will lay across this part of the hand, some pieces that will lay across the inside of your hand, okay? So maybe 2 or 3 pieces on the inside, 1 or 2 pieces on the back. Make sure this is a separate piece right here. I suggest it be kind of cut right here because that'll give you more range of motion when you do have the gloves on. And then also you're going to cut thin strips that will wrap around your fingers, around each section of your fingers. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to do 20 strips about that big and big enough to wrap around all the way around your finger. Okay? So once you've got those pieces together, then we're going to go ahead and start gluing. All right, so there is somebody out there that actually already made a pair, and he said that he used, he went ahead and cast some hands in ultracal, and then went ahead and did burlap over top, kind of the process that I already showed you, which is cool, and I hope it works for him. But I started out doing that, but I was so worried that the hand was so stiff that I would run into issues. So I came up with a different way, which is what your rice is for and your bottles. Okay. So what I did is I would take my gloves and I would go ahead and fill the fingers with rice in both gloves. So I'm going to do that. All right, so there we go. Now we've got the fingers full of rice. And what that does is that gives you a flexible finger, okay, that you can easily move around and wrap your burlap around. But my other theory with using rice is this stuff, if I'm correct, is has water in it. When the water dissipates, that's when it seals up and finishes drying. So what I was hoping to do, since I'm using a cotton glove and rice is very absorbent, I was hoping that the rice will pull that water out and dry the gloves even faster. At least that's my theory. It seems to work pretty well because I wanted to make sure that it was dry all the way through when I took them off, when I took the rice out. So All right, so what I did next is I already have rice in the bottles, pretty full. I'm gonna go ahead and even them out a little bit. Now watch, this is what I'll go ahead and take my string. All right, I'm gonna take my string and I'm gonna go ahead and tie around the bottle and around the glove to hold the glove to the bottle. And what I did is I would just go ahead and shake the bottle and get all the rice to come out of the bottle and into the hand. I think we're going to scrap the string because I don't think that's going to work very well. What we're going to use instead is we're going to use rubber bands. All right, so now it kind of feels like, you know, I've got some volume in there. Fingers feel full. Because when you're done with this, you want to make sure that it's still big enough for your hand. But at the same time, you're going to need to move it around and get between fingers to apply your burlap. So there's one. Do the other one real quick. Just drop that rice down in the glove. All right, so there you go. Got two hands that kind of look like actual hands now. Those gloves. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut my burlap and make sure I have the right pieces for that. So I'm going to take a little bit of burlap, start laying that out. So I'm going to say, oh, that'll look good for the back of the hand. Right there, going down the thumb. Let's go ahead and make this two pieces. Like that. Like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay those aside like this. So I know where my hands are at. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to cut a couple extra pieces just in case I find that I'm a little bit bare and maybe I need to add a little something extra, especially up around the wrists. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut kind of a long piece here. So I can wrap the wrist if I want. And I like these big frays going on here. I think that'll look nice right around the wrist. It also makes it really itchy, which sucks, but it looks cool. So, that'll look good. So I'm going to say these are going to go on the back like that and like that. Okay. Now I've got the insides set up here. So I'm going to put these over here like this. Now I'm going to cut my strips for the fingers. Found them. Have you ever noticed that all the good stuff that really works ends up in your kids' room and they never return it? But I found it because it was there. So let's do this. 20 strips, right? Kind of thin. about like that, depending on your finger. You want it to wrap, overlap just a little bit. All right? So you're going to want 20 of those. Sometimes they can be a little rough, like this one. That'll be cool. It'll be different. Alright, so 4 and 5, that's 20. So, there we go, we got 20. Clear your space a little bit so you can see what you're doing. Keep a couple smaller scraps here and there in case you want to patch in some stuff. Get your string out of the way. Get your scissors. Keep your scissors close because you might use them still. Get the paint out of here right now. Okay, so got all your pre-cut hands, fingers, got your gloves full of rice and ready to go. I'm gonna take, and you've got your adhesive. So on to the next step. Coffee break. Out.